What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this afternoon. It is 2:13 p.m. where I'm at, Central Standard Time. I have not looked at the charts pretty much all day or all weekend, so I'm going to be doing a pretty raw and fresh take here. So, as you can see, we are going kind of sideways now. It looks like the 0.618 has held a support. We did kind of get this back test right here to confirm. So we do have an opportunity for the bulls to pivot to the upside. Now, ultimately, I do still feel that we are in a downward trend, but we can catch a swing pivot to maybe, let me go to the 1 hour time frame. I'm already here on the 1 hour time frame. Let me turn on my magnet tool and let's start doing some pattern trading here. So here you could make a argument that this was kind of like a falling wedge, and usually these break to the upside. Now when they get invalidated is you break below here. I'm assuming the 618, but usually these kind of come back to the top, so that you could at least expect from current levels here to like a 2.8% move to the upside. That's not bad. Ultimately, though, I want to look at the momentum oscillators. I want to see if there's any divergences or if there's any opportunities there. Let me see here. So we do have a divergence right here. Money flow's starting to go green again on the lower term time frames. So let me go here. Yes, we actually do have a divergence on the RSI. So let me just enlarge that so I can show you. Like, some people don't even know what a divergence is, and that's completely fine. If you have no idea what a divergence is, that's fine. I'm not trying to shame you or whatever. But let me actually show you what a divergence is. So a divergence is when you have a high on the price. Okay, let me turn off, let me customize this so it makes more sense. Okay, so you have let's say you have a high in price, like a high low, and then you have a lower low. Okay, now conversely, on the I believe this is the RTI, which is an augmented RSI, you actually have a low and then a higher low. So when you have like a low and a higher low and then a high and then a low, that is what you can constitute as a divergence. So usually now an invalidation of a divergence is a candle close below here, which would be basically 25.886. Okay, so at this point in time, we do have kind of like a divergence playing out here. It has been kind of going through it. Invalidated a bearish engulfing candle. How do you invalidate a bearish engulfing candle? You invalidate a bearish engulfing candle by having a candle close above the base of a bearish engulfing candle, which was this candle right here. Okay, so we're starting to see choppy price action. You definitely want to see that. Usually when you have a huge dump to the downside like we just had last week, you want price to kind of calm the fuck down. Essentially, you just want to go sideways and down, then choppy sideways, and then ultimately then you'll get those pumps to the upside. So in all honesty, I do feel like the 618 will be acting as support for the near future. And ultimately, I do feel that we might actually hit these areas right here. So now let me go into key areas of resistance. So usually I would constitute this downward sloping line as a resistance line. And just for perspective, I'm going to expand that. So I do ultimately feel like this downward sloping line will act as resistance, as well as this here. So let me turn that red and expand it. Okay, boom. So we have this theoretical downward sloping resistance lines coming through. Also, the 786 would be considered resistance as well. As you can see, the more confluence you have, meaning where all these lines where they converge, the more validity it has in terms of resistance. Now, what else could be constituted as resistance here? Pretty much, I feel like that's the core aspect of it all. So we have two lines converge right here, two lines converge right here, and two lines converge right here. So what I like to do personally is I like to create a box and essentially point out where all of these lines converge and kind of, just have a visual representation of where all of these lines converge. And essentially, yeah, basically, price can pump literally all the way up to here. It could wick to the top, you know. But still, ultimately, if that pump does not nullify this local high, then we're still going lower. So essentially, this local high would be right around here on the 1 hour time frame, which would be basically 30,000. So essentially, if this price were to theoretically pump and break through this, it would still need to pump above 30K to create that higher high to break this downtrend. And given that what everything's been happening, I don't see that happening. Ultimately, I do feel like there will be pumps to the upside periodically, but these are just waves to ride. These are temporary things to initiate, as opposed to just like hold a fresh long. As you can see, we're having divergences accumulate here as well on more significant time frames. Now, money flow is interestingly coming back up. Supply is getting eaten up. That's a good sign. We are getting an anchor wave right here. Look at this disgusting wave. But we do call these anchor waves, and then we do have a higher low instance here. So we are going to, in my opinion, I do feel like we will have a pretty significant move in terms of percentage to the upside. As you can see, this is like oversold hardcore. And eventually I do feel like these are really good buying opportunities when you have your level here, green, when this blue line, the line's really thin, so you can't really see it, especially because the bright green's kind of covering it. But when the blue line crosses above the white line, that's actually a very good indication. And also, if you continuously get higher lows, so we have obviously this super large low, then we have a higher low, and then we have a low here and a higher low right there. So we're getting accumulating signs of bullish momentum coming back. Now, it's not to say that we're going to be pumping for the next 3 months or whatever. No, I just feel like we fell so much in terms of significance. Look, okay, from local top to local bottom here. Oh, whoops, wrong tool. All right, so from here to all the way down here, that's a 23% dump. So we've already lost 23%. We're recovering right now, but I do feel that personally, I do see this resistance right here. The longer it takes, the lower the opportunity. But I do feel that we will eventually see price hit this bottom line right here. And now at that point, we're either going to get like a significant break above it, like a quick flash pump, and then a rejection to then come down lower, or what we can see is just a flat rejection, and we're just going to come down lower. That's my base case right now. That's the most conservative view I could see. Is okay, we eventually hit this area, and we kind of just break down even more, or we could have this like triangle pattern. Ultimately, when you have a flat base, so for example, if we're going to constitute this area as support, we can theoretically have this kind of triangle pattern, essentially with a flat base and a downward sloping top. These are actually bearish in nature, so we could be bouncing in here for the foreseeable future, but ultimately we break to the downside. Now, percentages are high to the downside, but ultimately they can break to the upside as well. So that's just a caveat. But ultimately, I feel like this is the scalping range. If you ask me, not financial advice, but this is kind of like a scalping range that I'll be keeping focused on. Ultimately, I want to see the top side of this line tagged before I hold anything continuously. But anyway, that's all I have pretty much. I just wanted to give you updates on that. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Take care. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.